Yeah, my name's Justin Nelson. I'm a director of operations for a hemophilia treatment center at Children's Minnesota in Minneapolis. I am also a board member of the Hemophilia Alliance. Yeah, being a director of the Hemophilia Treatment Center is very unique. Seeing as I'm not a clinician, I oversee all the business operations. I don't often get to interact with patients. My patients, I know them by their names on a billing sheet or something very, sterile. But working with my team and hearing all the great stories of the impactful work that they're doing because of our grant funding and 340B is just amazing. And I love being able to share that with my fellow colleagues throughout the organization. So my day-to-day can vary from trying to book travel to get to, a seminar to trying to help a patient gain access to their medication because they're experiencing a barrier due to deliveries or finances. It can change every single day. And it's just super engaging, and seeing our program grow over the years has just been beautiful. Yeah, so originally this ended up just being my career journey. I didn't know anything about hemophilia other than, it's a bleeding disorder, and like people who might get a paper cut might bleed to death, which as we know is seldom true. But then, as I've grown through my career, but also in my personal life, my partner actually is a part of the bleeding disorders community. He has factor V Leiden. And so it just so happened that someone in my own sphere, is impacted by part of the hemophilia and bleeding disorders community. And then also my best friend out here, unbeknownst to me, she has von Willebrand's. And so she often will ask me, what's the latest and greatest that I hear about von Willebrand's and other bleeding disorders treatments. Yeah, I've attended Washington Days in person. That was obviously pre-pandemic. That was my very first experience with Washington Days. At first I was super nervous. You're getting to meet with senators or representatives or their staff, and you're trying to carry this message, and how do you formulate that message? And so that was the very first time that I got to do it. And then I actually left the organization for a few years and then came back to hemophilia. And so my first year back was in December of 21. So I got to participate in the virtual Washington Days. Again, I found it extremely motivating and just empowering. I got to speak for the voice of the community I serve, even though I may not personally be directly impacted. I can carry that voice forward. And as I've continued to grow my team, I tell them about Washington Days, and a lot of them are interested in advocacy and participating. And I highly encourage them to, keep an eye on the invites that are going to be coming soon, because it is the best experience you will have in your life. Yeah, I would say, definitely attend the information sessions beforehand, because it gives you a good primer, a good basis on what you might be experiencing. Definitely connect with people who have done it before. They might have some tips and tricks, and I definitely did that. And like I mentioned earlier, I was super nervous about this because I'm basically getting to talk to people who are the movers and the shakers in our country. But really at the end of the day, they are people just like me who they are advocating for a cause too. And so take that opportunity to passionately voice your needs or your concerns for the community and what it is you need. Every person's role in Washington Days is different. Myself as a member of the business community, I can only educate where I can't specifically ask for something. But if I'm partnered with a person with a bleeding disorder, they can advocate for what they need. And actually, my very first in-person Washington Days, I was partnered with a little boy from North Dakota, and he got to talk about what it's like to have hemophilia and what his experience is in the clinic. And then I would talk about, because of the funding, because of these programs, this is why he gets to get all these services, which are so important when we're talking about hemophilia care. So it was a very unique but natural blend for us. Yeah, I would say to anyone that regardless of if you do Washington Days through NHF or the Hemophilia Alliance or any other organization that is a part of Washington Days, whether it's at the same time or a different time of year, absolutely take that opportunity and feel free to be as open or as not open as you want to be. You know, not everyone is comfortable sharing every single piece of personal information about themselves, but just, you know that your voice is worth being heard, even though you might not see the actions you want. But it's like that old saying, see something, say something. You can't expect change if you don't say something.